be honest, when you pull up to your front porch at the end of the day, does it welcome you? Does it bring a smile to your face? Or do you think, oh my God, I have so much to do to make this front porch look great? Today, we're talking about exactly that, how to reset your home's energy from the driveway and design a porch that welcomes you. And there is no one on this planet Earth that I would rather have this conversation with than Claire MacRiner, who is an interior designer and co-founder of Porch Pros. And of course, at the helm, I have my partner, Carolina Billings. And Claire, I know, from being a realtor firsthand, how important curb appeal is, but you take it to a whole other dimension, my friend. So can you please tell us what is about the psychology of the front porch, and why is curb appeal, or sometimes we say soul appeal, so important?
Thank you, Renee. So I think there's one thing about the front porch is that we stop seeing it because we just come in and out. Our lives are so busy and it's so easy to pass by. A lot of people find their backyards a little bit more private, so they're spending more time there. So it's just a very easily overlooked space. But the truth about your porch is that it's really like the handshake of the home. It is the first impression that you get of your home. It's the initial feeling you have when you come home. So the last thing you really want to do is feel like there's more work to do. So we've created a service where you don't have to think about any of that. We can seasonally update your porch without you having to lift a finger.
Okay, loving that. So you take care of it, because it's just so easy to get caught up on everything that we forget to change our urns or, do the front decor.
Correct.
Or worse yet, we keep, we make an investment on decorations and then we keep putting the same thing, same all, right?
Right.
But what I love about your perspective and your approach is designing a porch that welcomes you home.
Mm-hmm.
We often hear curve appeal and the value of it's for others, it feels performative instead of holistic in something that heals you. So I'm loving what you bring to a jaded conversation. Let's put it to you that way.
Well, and that's a really good point, Carolina, is doing it for ourselves. And what I like about Claire's approach and Porch Pro's approach, that's a mouthful, is that you really up the game with respect to beauty. And for example, it's so easy, and I've fallen into this trap of convenience where and I've been doing it year after year. I do the same thing 4 times a year. I change my front planters. And for summer, I just put in easy peasy 2 ferns because I have a shaded, a front porch with shade. And it's boring, but it's clean looking, which is really important to me. But when I look at the designs that you have with this almost, some of them tropical vibe to it, just the whimsy about it, that is what would bring to me a smile to my face. And really, I think any guest coming to my door, just it sets a mindset of what I'm about to experience that evening, right? Like who puts pink flamingos in their front planters? I'll tell you who. I don't know, sophisticated, classy, whimsical people, right? Like I think it's really clever. So how did you come up with the pink flamingo idea?
So we've named each of our color palettes to make it, again, easy. We've created a menu style selection for our clientele where they can actually choose the size of the package, more or less, for each season, and a color palette that goes with it. So our pink flamingo package, which seemed to be really popular this summer, is a tropical greenery with just pink, very tropical looking flowers that are inside. And it gives that pop of freshness and color. It really screams summer to people, where, you really don't get much opportunity for color on a porch. There's just a lot of architectural features that can just overtake everything. And it's so nice to add that color back in, add some layers, some texture, and really balance everything out.
It's really fresh looking too. Yeah, I love that. And it's interesting with front porches, right? Just as you say. I mean, I would, okay, people, anyone that we're helping get their house ready for the market, make sure you don't have a tattered mat and your mailbox dust is off and there's no cobwebs and that kind of thing. But again, I really like how you've just upped the elegance factor, which is really cool. Carolina, what do you think about the, you have a love of psychology. What do you think about this mindset transfer or change as people witness a front porch like that? How does it shift their expectations of walking inside?
I think, live and learn, right? So for years, I have always been, I would like to think not critical, but observing of people who fix their home when they're selling it, right? And it's like, why wouldn't fix it for yourself?
Right.
Like, why give your best only when you come at this end of, when you're leaving, why not enjoy it? And I found myself with my home for sale doing things like repainting the picket fence, like things like that I just kept reflecting. It's like, why am I doing what I have been observing other people to do, right? So I am loving the approach that you are investing and committing to having someone help you, right? Because the porch in your entrances become transactional.
Yes.
It's like you're in and out, right? But your service is allowing them to pause.
That's exactly it. We really want every arrival to feel intentional, and we want to create a space for pause, exactly as you just said. There's so much going on in our daily lives, and to come home and see anything that's not done just adds another thing to our list, and that can immediately throw us off again. You could be in some kind of mood already from coming home, and there's an opportunity to stop that and change how you feel before you walk into your home. And I think the most important element of that is having a clean and organized space, because whether it's outside or inside, it really reflects what's going on in our mind. Having that space around us clean keeps our mind intact in a way. So
I just had a vision. I'm a publisher. Okay. So I just had a vision of a book for you, Lessons from the Front Porch.
Oh, I love that. Okay, I'm going to take a note of that.
We're gonna work with that, because you're gonna have some articles in our magazines. We have several magazines and stuff, and there's something to be said about the culture of the front porch that I think we've lost.
There's an opportunity that's also there to help you connect with your community, and I think that's what we are losing as well. Even just sitting on your porch for a few minutes a day, waving at the neighbors walking by, it doesn't mean for them to walk right up.
Watching the world go by.
Exactly. It's that connection of bringing kind of the outdoors in without being all the way inside your house. It's just a blend of the two, which I love.
Yeah, I think that is brilliant. Now I'm going to ask you the gorilla in the room question. Okay. What happens if you don't have a front porch?
There's so many opportunities still to feel intentional with your arrival, even if you're just in an apartment building, but using the outdoor space is more or less the way
metaphorical porch.
Yes, exactly. So for me, I'm in an apartment unit here where I have a big balcony, and that's really my space to pause and to connect with the outdoors. And so of course I make sure that I have plants out there. I've designed the whole thing. I use river rock along the side. I've got deck tiles down. I have a hanging mosquito net to add a little drama, but also some drama, exactly. But also it's functional if the mosquitoes do come out. And just lighting, there's these little elements to bring that feeling of connection to the outdoors. Okay,
I'm moving to a condo. I'm like inviting you for tea, because these are, that's one of the considerations, like not a big one, but in the back of my mind in moving from a property that has quite a bit of greenery. I'm in Markham Village. I know you're also headquartered in Markham. But moving from the whole bird and ravines and so much greenery into the city, right?
Correct. Yeah.
How to create those metaphoric spaces.
Yeah, for tranquility.
Yeah, if you don't have a porch, you can still have it.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah. And your entrance in the same sense is
Yeah.
really just as important, because if there isn't an exterior space to be walking through, although you will have obviously the entrance of your building, which I'm sure will be beautifully done, which hopefully maybe even Porch Pros can help with. But the entrance of your home is equally important. So even just having something inside the front door there for you, and a clean space there where you know that you can just kind of come down from whatever was going on in your day, whatever might be in your mind.
A transition space.
A transitional space, exactly.
Wow.
I love how Brendan Bouchard always mentioned about how it's so important to leave something at the doorway. And he has a weird method of just tapping on a doorway before he walks through it, to know that before he comes into his home with his family and his kids, you know, any added stresses are no longer in that forefront of his mind. And I think we can achieve that with just a space and how we've designed it and how organized it is.
I have to say, I have been on Claire's balcony, and just, I didn't know at all that she had designed it, decorated it. And I recall the feeling that came over me when because we were looking at the sunset,
right?
And she said, "Come and see the sunset." And I stuck my head out and I went, "Oh my God." It was like I stepped into a front porch in Atlanta, Georgia, or I don't know, the river rock that you had along, just like you said, along the outside, and then the wooden tiles and it was just so unexpected and so
intentional.
calming.
Yes, intentional.
I love that word that Claire brought is the intentionality of it.
Right.
So Claire, what response have you had from homeowners once they come home to their pink flamingo masterpieces, or some of the other works that you've done? What are some of the first responses that you get?
The first response, the most common one, is that they wish they did it sooner. Because that's just always like, oh, why have I been struggling to do this? You know, I've never known what to do and what looks good. I just buy plants and I put them here and here. And there's always just something missing. But having that outsourced help, you know, especially someone with any kind of a design background that understands the elements and principles of design is huge, because we can now accent what you already have. We can enhance what you already have. We can create the symmetry. We can get the proper scale and proportion, whereas maybe that was lost. That's usually the most common thing that I see that is done incorrectly, interiors and exterior, and even just a rug, the proper welcome mat, but the right size. A lot of people will do just a dinky little tiny mat, whereas if you have a larger space, that shrinks it in. Actually, one of my design pet peeves is the wrong sized carpet, an area rug. And the front porch is another one of those places where if you just put a tiny little mat, but you have a very large porch, there's a missed opportunity to really ground the whole space and frame it.
I have a huge porch, but a regular sized door. So you're going to have to come by and check my mat size. Maybe making a faux pas here, and I don't even know it.
Your porch is always beautiful, Renee.
Now, tell me, I love before and after, and I know before and after shots. And I know for those of you who have the pleasure of looking at us three beautiful women right now, you can see you can see the pink flamingo doorway planters that we were just referring to. But Claire, tell us, I think you sent a before picture that the homeowners had. Can you describe what that was, and then how this whole thing unfolded?
Yes. So one of my clients, one of my previous clients already, she has a beautiful home that she spent years having built for her. Everything inside is custom. Everything about it is intentional, except the front porch. She had purchased just 2 planters. And again, busy lifestyle, big family, lots to do, and completely understood. And everything that she's done to date has looked beautiful, except these front planters that she had purchased beautiful faux flowers, and she just stuck them all in her planter and expected that to look like a finished look. And most people would have thought, sure, that could work. But what it was missing was the layering, the texturing. Everything was upright. Nothing was folding over, trailing. Everything was more or less one color.
Natural.
Yeah, it didn't look natural. Exactly. So the more organic something can look, especially when it's something of nature like plants, they can easily blend well together, but they can easily look wrong if they're too forced. So these were just very upright. The stems were showing. There were still tags on a lot of these little flowers. So I just kindly asked if she would like us to step in and do her front porch planters for her. And I let her know that we could use some of what she had so that we didn't have to purchase everything from new. And she was open to it. And so we kind of...
So it wasn't so much about the silk flowers.
Right. Now, the flowers that we do use a higher end flower from what you can just purchase at, say, like a Winners, or even obviously the dollar store isn't the greatest. But
they're still artificial.
They're still artificial. We can still do
it. And I'm all for it, because
these are the zero care.
Yeah, like there's some in the property that I'm in, we face like all the different directions.
Right.
So anything west, right? It just bakes in the afternoon, and it's just non-sustainable to keep putting live plants. So I'm so happy to hear that you make artificial or evergreen product work.
Yeah. We love calling it everlasting because there's zero maintenance to it. The only thing that we obviously recommend is bringing it in for the winter, which again, we can even help with if that was something that, is too difficult for someone. If it's a challenge for someone. But the products that we actually use are known as like real touch flowers. So a lot of these, even when you're right up close looking at it, you can't tell that it's not real. I know that it's a podcast, so most people can't see this, but I have one of the real touch roses right here. And there's really nothing about it that, even when I'm touching it here, it's like a silky, it's a latex rose, but it really just feels real. Like
we're just going to invite our listeners to take a look at the video on our YouTube and social media.
Yeah.
So are you mixing what you call it? Everfresh?
Everlasting.
Are you mixing everlasting with real, or are those pink flamingo planters we're seeing on the screen right now, are they all faux plants?
Everything you're seeing on the screen right now is all faux planters.
Love it.
Yeah, wow. We can do completely real planters. I do have a background also with plants, so I understand what can be in the full sun, part shade, which plants go together, which plants store their water more in their leaves and require drier soil. Like we have a full understanding of that.
Chemistry knowledge to have real plants. Now you have some other pictures. Let me just pull up, which is gorgeous. Tell us about this entrance for our listeners. Is a gorgeous, I'm not even sure what type of architecture it is, but it's a wooden curved door with lots of fall harvest decorating it.
I love that you just used the word. So the name of this color palette is our harvest collection, because it's actually it's all the colors of the pumpkins that you really have available to you. Heirloom pumpkins, orange jack-o'-lantern pumpkins, white pumpkins, all kinds of gourds, greens and peaches and grays. It's just a huge cascade of pumpkins. This is our classic cascade, but times 2. We've done 2. So there's about 75 pumpkins on each side of this. This is a very large scale.
It looks like a large harvest.
Yes, this was a very large porch. So anything smaller than this would have actually looked very lost and it wouldn't have looked proper. And believe it or not, the client here is actually an interior designer herself, whereas her life is just so busy that she doesn't have time to do the porch. But as an interior designer, she's expected to have something decorated there. So if she wanted to feel completed that fall, where she was just too busy to take on any more tasks herself, and she asked us to step in, and we did, and she was very happy with this.
Now, were these natural or everlasting?
They're all real pumpkins. These are all edible pumpkins as well. We actually work with farms in our area, and we hand deliver, white glove service. We clean off all the pumpkins. We actually use a vinegar spray. We don't use any bleaches or chemicals.
Okay.
And that will help also deter any animals, any squirrels or bugs from getting at them. And we actually offer a full stop service where we will come back to the home and we will remove the pumpkins and we take them back to the farm at the end of the season where the pigs actually eat them. So it's a full sustainable cycle here. We don't like to produce any waste.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
That's your environmental footprint.
Exactly.
Brilliant.
How long would a display these and folks at home, these cascading pumpkins look beautiful. The rainbow colors are just incredible. How long will that last?
So they are natural products. So it will depend, of course, on the weather as well. But as long as we get into at least mid-September, where it's cool enough for them to be outdoors and they're not baking in the sun, really, they should last right up until Halloween. So they do last about 4 to 6 weeks, depending on, they can last longer. And as long as we've done our treatment of covering them with the vinegar and cleaning them all off, also just to get off any dirt, we make sure they look beautiful for you. That really does help also preserve them. So as long as we've done our part.
This is a lot of work.
It is a lot of work.
And I have to tell you, our audience, we're, unfiltered, proudly in our prime, like 55 to 75.
Yeah, you don't want to be hauling pumpkins.
Well, not only that, is the yard work and anything to this magnitude may not seem like a big ordeal, right? But it is, and it's so easy to, my son was here on the weekend and we were talking about the type of condos that I'm moving into, and I was showing him some lofts, and he says he's a millennial like yours, young, strong people. He's like, oh, but that still has stairs. And I'm like, oh, sweetheart, I can still go upstairs. I'm like, okay, which one of us is right? It's like, are you seeing something I don't, or am I seeing something I don't? So that same weekend, the day after, I was going into the basement to do whatever. When I was coming up the stairs, I just stepped funny and I hurt my knee.
Yeah.
I'm like, darn kid, right? He jinxed the stairs. But it's true, as we get a little bit into our midlife, right? To outsource services like yours.
Yes.
It just makes sense on so many fronts.
Yeah. I don't think outsourcing should be seen as a luxury. I think it's really there to protect your time, your peace, give you more time with your family, give you more time to enjoy your home, and then, protect your body. Don't throw out your shoulder or your knee or roll an ankle because you're trying to pile up a bunch of pumpkins when we can do that for you.
Especially for all the we can watch you.
Yeah, you can watch.
Independent ladies, which are with powerful women today.
Right.
Absolutely. I think that is brilliant. So you got another picture here also of harvest.
Yes.
Now, is that what is that?
So that's actually that's a greenhouse. And so this is the client that she has a beautiful greenhouse in her backyard and she spends most of her time in the back. And so we wanted to decorate that for her because this is where she has her guests. She has a beautiful water feature and table and chairs and a fire pit back there. So this is where she actually spends most of her time. So we wanted to give her a little bit more back there. And this color palette, I know, again, our listeners can't see this image, but hopefully if they check on our video, they will. And
we'll put the link to your website, which are where I'm sure, where you're in Instagram. I'm sure there's beautiful.
Yes, our Instagram. Perfect.
A whole gallery of beautiful pictures.
This is we've named this the Morning Meadow for the color palette of it. And it's more or less like a botanical style collection of pumpkins in more pastels with peaches and grays and off-whites and pinks and deep greens as well. So just a very earthy palette.
Yeah. And this, I would imagine, would also, sorry, Renee, I just the one that thought to go away. This is also a brilliant idea for gifts.
Yes.
Right? To give, your mom or your spouse or your grandmother a beautiful gift of the season, right? Yeah. That is just so lovely because sometimes we're hesitant to invest in ourselves.
Exactly.
So this is a brilliant way to share with the ones we love.
Yes. And we have
I
smaller
love that.
packages. We have smaller packages as well. It's not all just massive cascades. There's just little, we have the mini mound, the petite patch, there's different levels that you can go to. So yeah.
Adorable.
These are interesting names. I would have wanted to have been at that focus group.
It's our favorite part. We're not going to lie. My business partner is my best friend. This is our dream business that we finally got to start. And Melissa and I have a lot of fun coming up with these names, specifically our color palette names.
But you do. So that's interesting. How is it? Well, let's a couple of things. Let's talk about people with your typical front porch, right? Like I have a larger front porch, but it's very basic. It's basically a slab of cement, in front of my big picture window. Mm-hmm. So other than having 2 planters at my front door and a little, in my case, I've got of all things, a church bench outside and a few chairs and a little table. But what are some design no-nos that people often break, with decorating the front porch, or what makes you cringe, Claire?
Before the porch police comes to get you.
Yeah.
Yes.
Aside from having, the wrong size of items, because like I said, you can easily have planters that are much too small for your entrance. You could have, sorry?
Pet peeve.
Yeah, pet peeve. Yeah, exactly.
Scale.
It's the scale. Yeah. And that's just such an easy way to elevate a space, is you can actually go a little bit larger and that's okay. But once you go too small, it just doesn't look right. But having anything on a larger scale can really just elevate that next feeling. It makes it feel grander. It can make a space feel bigger, which is a common misconception, that when you do something bigger, it can make it feel like a smaller space. Well, not if you're already in the outside. You can kind of get away with it a little bit differently on a porch than you can in a home. Other pet peeves that people do, not understanding if you have an asymmetrical or a symmetrical porch. So there's sight lines and visual points. And when you have a very symmetrical porch, you want to bring that out, really. You want to flank 2 pieces. You don't always want to just have one, or you want to use the rule of 3, where you're grouping 3 items together, not just having one standalone thing on its own. And you always just want the eye to carry to the next thing. So if you're just stuck staring at one thing and it's, off on the side and it's being lost, there's ways of redirecting your vision and your point of vision as well with lighting. Like there's so many different elements and principles of design that you can really bring in and layer in that continue to just upgrade the look of a porch.
This is absolutely brilliant. Well, as an amazing surprise, Claire is going to be decorating the entrance for our September 12th event here in the GTA. And we are so looking forward to seeing the beautiful decor firsthand. And you're also going to be showing people, having an exhibitor space, correct, Claire? Sorry, I haven't checked the latest.
Yep. We're going to be there as a vendor. We're going to meet everybody that wants to meet us.
Brilliant.
Brilliant. And you'll have on display one of your everlasting arrangements, so people can touch and feel and see, because you do this for indoors as well.
Correct. Yep. We can do centerpieces, anything really.
And also, you obviously do this for companies, for businesses.
Yes.
Right. Like, I know, I think, aren't you decorating the local gelato place in town?
Yes. So over Christmas, when we had our Markham Festival of Lights and our Santa Claus Parade, we had the opportunity to decorate for Love Gelato, which is a staple here in Markham. Amazing, great company, great owners, everything, great product, everything's natural. They also work with a lot of the farms where we go and get our pumpkins. It's a full circle, support local type of situation. And we created cascading Christmas balls over evergreens that covered their gazebo outside, and we lit it up. And we also gave them a cedar arch over their bench that we also lit up so that there was an opportunity for people to stop and take photos or just sit down and enjoy. Yeah. And just as soon as we finished building it, I was just leaving, and the least expected, a group of teenage boys actually came up and they were taking photos under it, which I wasn't expecting. I was expecting families or girls. I loved it. It was the best thing that could have happened in that moment. And yeah.
We look for, do you have pictures of those on your Instagram?
I do. Actually, no, we're saving it for posting for Christmas this year. We didn't post it yet.
We'll certainly invite everyone to follow Claire, Porch Pros, and she will be part of course, Powerful Women Today and the 1 Million Woman Challenge. We're going to figure how we're going to get her on board, and come meet her live September 12th at our Living Your Prime event in GTA North at 404 and Highway 7. So thank you, everyone. Thank you, Claire. Thank you, Renee, for connecting us with such brilliance. And we wish everyone a brilliant day. Until next time, take care.